Hi guys, this is SDJR88 speaking with a review of the all-new Bachmann Class E4 in stunning London and Brighton and South Coast Railways Umber livery. Now, some of you may know I have reviewed another Bachmann Class E4 very recently, in fact, but that one was in British Railways late livery, and in that review I couldn't recommend the model enough. It's probably one of the best models I have ever reviewed for performance, detail, livery application. And throughout that review I mentioned that there are 4 variants, 3 of which have been released, including the BR late lined version, the BR early unlined version and the Southern Green version. But there was one still on the way, which is this model here, which is the London and Brighton and South Coast Railways Umber livery. Now, I said that Bachmann had just sort of kept that livery back to make sure they were getting it just right. And from what I can see, it looks absolutely amazing. And I did mention throughout that review, I was really looking forward to seeing the E4 in this livery. And here it is. Now, of course, naturally, I picked this model up from my local model shop, Signals Models, for an absolutely brilliant price. They retail in Signals for £99, which in itself is a very, very good price, but Signals have a loyalty card system, and over the years of my visits and purchases there, I've built up quite a collection of these cards, and every time you fill a card, each card is worth a 10% discount. So for this loco, I thought I would use one of those 10% discounts. So I got it for £89 and 10p. And what amazing value for such a beautiful model. It really is stunning. Now, if I flip the box onto its end, we'll have the product code, which is 35-075, Class E4 579, London and Brighton and South Coast Railways Umber livery. And also we can see there we have the DCC icon, which the model features a 6-pin DCC socket. Really, really beautiful model. On the back, as usual, we have the information. So we got the, I've read this in the other review, but it says the London and Brighton and South Coast Railways E4 class are a class of 062 tank steam locomotives designed by Robert Billinton, entering traffic in 1898. The radial tanks were essentially a larger version of the Class E3. Brighton Works built 75 E4 tanks locomotives were built from 1897 to 1903. Originally designed for mixed traffic, all were fitted with Westington House air brakes from new. Number 463 and 506 had a lever reverser as well. Their success as passenger locomotives caused a change to the screw reverser for numbers 507 onwards. Vacuum brakes proceeded to be fitted shortly after 1923. They are very powerful for their size and were jewels. Sorry, my pronunciation is terrible. Of local passenger, freight and branch line work for more than half a century. All of the class survived the transfer into Southern Railways ownership in 1923, and all but one locomotive, number 483, survived passing into British Railways. Most of the class were withdrawn between 1958 and 1964. One locomotive survived into preservation, which is the Southern liveried version, which is preserved on the Bluebell Railway. Now, as you can see, it looks a really, really great model, so without further ado, I will get her out of the outer packaging and we'll have a slightly closer look. So be right back in a moment. Here she is out of the outer packaging. As we can see, it is the standard Bachmann Ice Cube packaging, which I absolutely love. In the tray here we have the usual paperwork, which is included with every sort of Bachmann model, which includes the instructions, warranty, and also a form to fill in and join the Bachmann Collectors Club. There's also a little extra instruction in there for how to fit or how to arrange the route indicator discs, which are included in the detailing pack with this model, much like the same seen in the British Railways version. Now here she is, and we can really start to see that beautiful London and Brighton South Coast Railways livery. It really is absolutely stunning and suits the model very well indeed. Now, sorry about the glare, obviously because the packaging is quite reflective. Now, you can see there's the detailing pack on the top there, which includes brake rigging, vacuum, air brake, and also a number of route indicator discs. Those route indicator discs, as mentioned on the instruction, are fitted to the really tall lamp irons, which you can just about see there on the front of the model. So without further ado, we will get her out of the packaging and put her on the track. So be right back in a moment. Well, here she is on the track, and what can I say? She looks absolutely gorgeous. Bachmann really have outdone themselves with this London, Brighton and South Coast livery. It really does look smart on the class. Starting off at the front, we have the smoke box. As you can see, we've got the separately fitted lamp iron, smoke box dart, and we've got the railing which goes around along the boiler, along the top of the tanks, as we'll see in a moment. Then we come on down to the running plate, which is of course metal. We also have lots of rivet detail around there, including the cylinder chest as well. Then we come on to the buffer beam, which is red. We also have the buffers, which are separately painted black. Now these buffers are non-sprung buffers, as on the BR version. They're just turned metal, but then again, as mentioned before and countless times, I do prefer the sort of turned metal buffers to sprung buffers, and of course it keeps the cost down. Then we got the hole for the chain link coupling and the vacuum pipe, or air brake. We've also got the running number there, 579, which is very nicely applied in, is it gold leaf text? I'm not sure if it's gold leaf text on these locos, but it sort of does look like it, but it's very nicely applied indeed. Got the standard NEM pocket as well. Then we come on round to the side, slowly go around there. We have the front splasher there. I mean, just look at the lining on that front splasher. Very fine indeed. The beautiful gold and black lining on the wheels there. The wheels are black, I believe, or I believe so. It's hard to tell. I think they are. But on the prototype, they were umber, but I think it's more correct to the prototype that they are black. And Bachmann have done this with the model. And again, we've got all the beautiful sort of brake rigging down there. We've also got the pipe work as well, all pre-fitted. I believe the brake rigging is separately fitted. It is in the separately fitted packet, which we saw earlier on. Go on to the step, beautiful lining on the step there as well. Then we come up onto the bunker. Again, we have that beautiful lining. I just look at that. And there we go, there's the running number again, 579. So beautifully applied, this livery. Then we come to that beautiful pump, as mentioned in the BR version review. Now on here, as you can see, they've got the beautiful sort of brass banding around it there, along with the copper pipes. It really does enhance that little pump indeed. And now I'm going to try and zoom in. It'll probably lose focus. But there we go. Yeah, we got that beautiful detail of the actual, the pump itself there. You can see the little sort of join in the little rod that goes up and down in between the two cylinders there. It's amazing how Bachmann managed to actually get that, actually managed to model that in detail. Zoom out again. Then we come on to the side tank itself, and as you can see, we've got the actual Umber livery itself, and then we've got a slightly darker livery around the outside of the lining. And we've got the LBSC text there. It's just absolutely stunning. It is really just such a smart livery for the loco there. Just slowly moving it along there. Sorry about the constant jerk, I'm just trying to slide my hand over the points here. Moving up, we have the beautiful funnel there. There's the railing again as well. See, there's a nice little bit of rivet detail around the bottom of the funnel there. We also have this beautiful brass and black lining around the boiler there. Again, as we move along there, along with the dome. And we've got a beautiful amount of detail applied to the top of the water tanks there. There we go. And as on the BR version, we have the separately fitted, the hook there for the all the fireman's tools. We've got the water filler caps and a load of other little sort of pipe work and all that, all separately fitted. Then we have that beautiful safety valve there. And the livery, sort of, when you've got a black model like the British Rail version, sort of some of the sort of finer details sort of blend in, but with this sort of a brighter livery like this Umber, it really does sort of highlight some of the little details. I mean, you can see all the little detail there on the safety valve there. It really, really is nice indeed. We come to the front of the cab, and we see there's lots of little rivets around there as well as the actual glazing itself. On the roof we have the little whistle, which I believe is metal. There we are, shining away there. We've also got a lovely, beautiful white roof. Really, really bright and contrasting to the actual sort of the darker Umber livery. It really is sort of gives it sort of a Victorian-esque sort of feel. Now we come onto the cab itself. Now this is where the camera always tends to lose focus. But apologies for my shaky hands here. I thought I would try another take of getting the cab detail in there. It's slightly fuzzy as the camera really is struggling to focus on it, but from the images you could just about see there is absolutely plenty of cab detail in there. You've got the little gauges, you've got the regulator, you can even see the firebox door down there. All sort of separately painted. You can even see the little water gauges there. Now if I lift up the camera it probably will lose focus, but the floorboards in there, as on the BR version, I don't think it is showing up. You can just about see them there. Sorry about the light there. The camera's casting a shadow because the light is directly above the model. There is the wooden flooring. We've also got the brake handle there, and this lovely sort of white application to inside the cab there. I do love sort of the cream or cream interiored cabs. So it really does highlight and brighten up sort of especially a little sort of enclosed cab. But the E4 here does have a surprisingly sort of large footplate for this sort of tank loco. It's quite spacious. So it is sort of very easy to see when you've got the sort of the model in the flesh, the cab detail. But as mentioned, the camera does struggle to focus on much of this detail. Again, we come back around the bunker. Just looking at that beautiful lining again, the beautiful text application with the running number there. And we come onto the rear of the loco now, the bunker. Now, if the camera is going to focus, it's just go on. There we go. We have the moulded steps there. We also have the separately fitted lamp irons. Again, on the buffer beam, pretty much the same as the front. We've got the running number, all very nicely applied. We also have the hole for the the brake pipe, and we also have the hole for the free chain link coupling. Again, a NEM coupling mounted to the bogie, the rear bogie, so it does give it a bit of a movement. So when you go around tight corners, it over point work. We also come up onto the top now, where we've got the moulded coal load, but again, as always, it's easy to modify if you want to add real coal, but it's not too bad for the model. And we also have this beautiful railing that goes around the outside of the bunker. Now I'm not sure if this is separately applied or part of the moulding, but it is a separate livery to the Umber. It's like I think it's like the similar sort of dark greeny colour as on the outside of the tanks, but it really is nice. We've also got the rear of the cab there. We've also got the sort of the railings on the window there. That is part of the moulding, but it really does sort of stand out to give the effect that it has been separately applied, as it would do on the real prototype. And we've got that beautiful lining as well, continuing on around. So, all in all, an absolutely gorgeous loco. So, let's see how she performs. So here we are, all ready to go. I'd like to apologise for the shaky camera at the end of the last sort of scene. It was very hard to sort of hold the camera steady with the camera zoomed in so far to get all that fine detail around the cab area. So I'd like to apologise for that. But anyway, we're on a tripod now for the little bit of running, the little bit of test run here. Now, as always, we're using the HM2000. And for those of you who watched my review of the BR late lined version of the E4, you will know that I was left absolutely speechless by the performance of the model straight from the box. It really was absolutely sweet as a nut. So hopefully the LB&SCR version here will perform the same. So if I give her a little juice, There you go, she's starting to move. And look at that. Now, as always, she still needs a bit of a proper run in. Keep her in focus there. Look at that. Over the point work there, no hassle. Just coming onto the corner. She looks absolutely stunning. Slow her down there. Switch direction, see how she performs in reverse. There we go. No hesitation at all to pull away there. She still needs a proper full run in. You can hear there's a bit of a sort of gearing noise there, but I'm sure that will sort of fade away the more she is used. Get a bit of speed up there. She looks absolutely stunning. Slow her down again, or otherwise she's going to go off the camera there. Oops. Apply a bit more juice to bring her back again. And there we go. I'm so glad the model has lived up to the expectations set by the BR Late one I reviewed. Slow her down. Creep her into, let her creep into shot. See how slow, get her to go. And I'll stop her there. Wow. Now again, what beautiful running from such a lovely model. So, on to the scores. Well, what can I say? Bachmann really have just done it again. They really have outdone themselves. Just such a smart model. I mean, now as you know, in the BR version I couldn't rate it enough, but seeing it in this absolutely beautiful LB&SCR livery, it is just mind-blowing. It is such a good model. You know, anybody who models preserved, or of course anybody who does sort of the Victorian, sort of the LB&SCR period sort of thing, this model is right up your street sort of thing. But you know, even if you don't model those sort of periods, I would just get one. They just, it's not often you see a model like this. It's one of those models that you just got to have no matter what you model, because it is just so beautiful. Anyway, the scores. Well, packaging, not as always, it's the standard Bachmann packaging, so it's a 9.5 out of 10 straight out of the straight off the bat. Ice cube packaging, like I said, easy to get in and out of. Keeps the model nice and safe. It's in case it's the detailing and all the instructions, all that very well. Then we come on to the model itself. Detail, 10 out of 10. Very good mix of separately fitted detail and also moulded detail. Now the livery really does enhance the moulded detail in a good way, and it really does almost give the feel that some of the little moulded details like the safety valve and all that are actually separately fitted, which is very nice to sort of hear when you see like moulded details, as sometimes moulded detail is sort of frowned upon, but if you get it just right, which I think Bachmann have, it really does sort of keep the cost of the model down, but doesn't spoil the overall look. Now we come on to livery application. Now that I will have to give 12 out of 10, even more than that, it is breaks the 10 sort of record there. It is so well applied. Bachmann took the extra time to make sure they got the livery right on this loco, and I don't know much about the livery, but to me it looks absolutely perfect. The lining is so fine and crisp, as is the text, and all the little separately painted pipework as well for like the pump and all that. It really is very well done indeed. Now we come on to performance. Now again, this is where the BR version really excelled itself, and again I went well beyond the 10 boundary, and again I'm going to have to do so here. It really is an absolutely superb runner. Bachmann really have done a great job with the chassis and motor in this model. It is just absolutely amazing. So overall this model, well, I could easily say 10 out of 10, but it's got to be more like 100 out of 10. I'm being really stupid here, but again, it has left me absolutely speechless. It really is an absolutely beautiful model, and It's £99. I've got this model for £99 from Signals, though I did use one of my loyalty cards, so I did get a nice little discount. So really, I got it for £89. But for £99, that is absolutely brilliant value for the livery you're getting and the actual model. You know, the way it performs, the detail. It really is such amazing value. Now, as mentioned, Signals do have a number of these in stock, along with the Southern Green one, the BR Early Unlined, and also the BR Late Lined version, which, you know, again, I reviewed. They have all four in stock, including plenty of the London, Brighton and South Coast Railways version. So if you are after one of these models, do check out their websites. Link will be in the description below to all four variants on their site if you're wishing to purchase one. But I highly recommend you get one, wherever you get it from. It is just such a lovely model. So, I guess that's all that's left for me to do is to say this has been SDJR Son of 88 speaking, and thanks for watching.